Oh, I can do like cheese and pineapple. That's it. I don't need the
You don't even
bacon.
want to, you
cheese
just
and
want
pineapple.
That's weird.
For this example, Colin is kind of a piece of shit.
You're describing my life right now.
That I reached out to Dak Shepard on Twitter. I tweeted at him and was like, "Hey, I love your name and I want to name my kid this, but I need to know where it came from because it's too random for me to just throw it out there." So his parents got it from a book called The Adventurers by Harold Robbins. He did, yeah. Shit. We're good?
We're live!
All right, so we're out here.
Sorry.
Thank you very much for joining us. No, you're good. This Salt of the Streets pre-show episode 62. We're out here.
I like those cold pre-show openings.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. Thank you again for joining us. We are happy to have you guys here. We are joined, happily, Jake and Morgan. I guess I gotta let you guys introduce yourselves, but it doesn't matter. I am Donovan. That's Colin on the end. Fucking no one gets to introduce themselves today. It's gonna be a fantastic fucking show. Thank you again for joining us on Facebook Live. We are here, obviously, at Salt of the Streets on Facebook. We have our own personal social medias. I am at Salt of the Street on Twitter and at Alpaca_Donovan on Instagram. He is at Big Bird Offie on both of those things. You can find all of our information on saltofthestreets.com. Also, YouTube Salt of the Streets, because this shit goes on there after it is here. So, that's everything. I got
quick.
it. Last week I
I'm
fucked up.
impressed.
I'm really upset about it. So we're not doing that anymore. So, Colin, before we continue, and before you eat a fucking sugar cookie, I need you to tell me what you ate today for the podcast.
I ate a breakfast scramble.
Perfect.
Potatoes, bacon, eggs,
Beautiful.
cheese,
Yes.
ketchup.
Ketchup on it?
Yo, bro, I can't not do it anymore.
Do you put ketchup on my eggs? Oh, that's so gross.
It's so gross.
But only scramble.
No.
What the fuck is wrong with you guys? What is wrong with you?
So gross.
Oh my god.
Ketchup on fried egg.
All right, so now ensues the 15-minute long debate about the validity of ketchup on eggs.
When Jordan and I first got together, she would not eat eggs at all. Like, she didn't like eating eggs.
I'm not
And so I finally started to get her to eat eggs, and now she'll eat scrambled eggs, but she puts fucking ketchup on them.
Ugh.
It's so fucking gross.
I can't do it.
My sister did that when we were growing
on
up,
you,
and
Jordan.
I hated it then, and I think it's horrible now. And it's like a social media debate, just like pineapple on pizza. It's like one of those things.
I love pineapple
and
on
it's
pizza.
and I fuck with it too. Like, it's not.
Love it.
I wouldn't order a Hawaiian pizza, but if that's what's there, I will eat it. Like, I will eat a Hawaiian pizza. I will not pick the pineapple off. But that's not one that I would be like, I really want a fucking Hawaiian pizza.
Oh, I can do like cheese and pineapple. That's it. I don't need the
You don't even
bacon,
want to. You
cheese
just
and
want
pineapple.
That's weird.
And I don't know if I can follow you there.
Everybody pause button for a second, because I'm going to tell you the one and only way you should be allowed to put pineapple on a pizza. You have to take real pineapple. You gotta cut it up.
Is there fake pineapple?
Fresh pineapple?
Yeah, like
No,
what's
that fucking canned shit. Nobody wants that.
Fresh pineapple.
Oh, my Atlanta.
Yeah, and then you got to grill it over a fire.
Word.
Fire roasted fucking pineapple. Throw that thing on the fucking pizza there. Maybe with some fire roasted peppers, some red peppers for a little hint of mild sweetness.
Yeah.
I thought we were
then,
just talking about cheese and pineapple.
It's like, don't fuck up my pizza.
Hold on.
I'm on some shit right now.
She wants that bland pie.
That's
Just
a
that
whole
bland
lot
pie,
of
dude.
process. Like,
No,
I
and
don't
grilled pineapple is a whole nother beast as opposed to
For
like
sure.
standard pineapple, and canned pineapple is fucking.
Oh, dude, I mean,
It's not
you guys have been to a couple of my
I eat
little
it.
barbecues. There's always big old fucking chunks of grilled pineapple.
It's delicious.
Because it's so good.
wonderful.
And like
It's a game
No
changer.
denying.
like on a burger, grilled pineapple on a burger, it's fucking delicious.
Where were we that you had that?
Oh yeah, Silver City Brewing in Silverdale, man. They do this burger on a special menu called the Aloha Burger, and it's fire roasted grilled pineapple on the burger.
Fuck yeah.
And then they have bacon smothered in teriyaki sauce.
Fuck yeah.
On top of that.
Wow.
That's real good.
I've
It's
got it
real
twice
good.
already.
Silver
so
City.
good.
Oh yeah.
Super
I
real
went
good.
to, there's a fucking bar in Gig Harbor that's down on the waterfront.
The Haba.
Jordan knows what it's called. She's fucking watching right now. She told me not to hate about her ketchup on eggs. Please tell me
I got your back,
what
girl.
the name is of
Got
the
your
bar
back.
that's down in Gig Harbor by where you used to work. Because we went there one day and I had a burger that had ham and pineapple.
Oh, yeah.
Pineapple.
God.
And that
It
was
was a nice
with teriyaki
thick
sauce.
slab. Or is it like
it was
thinly
thin
layered?
sliced and
See,
then
that's
layered
better.
ham, and that was fucking heat because there was like it was like they grilled that in the teriyaki sauce like on the flat top, and then put that on there, and then the pineapple. So the
Yo,
tides,
that's money.
The tides.
I fucking love you, dude. I thought, I'm pretty good with movies, television shows. Like, hey, that guy's also the guy that was in this, but
Negative.
places we went, how old I was. Yesterday, she was just talking shit. I was trying to, produce something, movement in myself. So we went to the arena last night and terrible stomach, and I haven't had a proper bathroom trip in like 4 days now. So I went to the arena to get some fucking General Tso's wings. I'm trying to upset my stomach just to get it done, right? Like half worked. And so we were there last night with my mom, and Jordan's talking shit about my time frame because every time I tell her a story, I was like either 8 or 9 years old. Always. I'm like, I was probably like 8 or 9 years old, and there I didn't do that much shit when I was 8 or 9 years old. But that's
like the
only time frame I can pin it down on. And even with things that happened 2 weeks ago, I'm like, we just had this conversation, and she's like, that was 9. Over a year ago that we talked about that. And I'm like, no, it wasn't. Like, I remember it vividly. No, that was a long time ago. But
Oh, that's funny.
that's what we get. So I want to ask you guys something.
Okay.
Colin and Jake, individually, it's a 2-part question. It's pretty
I
much
like how
the
you're
same
conveniently
thing,
left out of this
and
one.
it's, no, they're a part of it. Her answer is, this is a question about you
'cause
guys,
I'm a
right?
ginger.
So,
Okay.
so you guys are getting married, and they've been married
I'm a
for 10
ginger.
years, right? So let's say, for the sake of the example, because we all know Colin and Jake, you guys are both stand-up guys, right? For this
Stand-up.
example, Colin is kind of a piece of shit, right? Like, he just likes to, have fun, do whatever.
Okay.
He's made some mistakes in his life, you know what I'm saying?
You're describing my life right now.
So,
Morgan.
Morgan,
Hypothetically.
Morgan and I thought we
This
were
is a little
pretending
real.
that no. So in this example, she thinks that Colin is a piece of shit, right? And he's a good guy because you guys have known each other since you were however fucking years old, right? And
In
so
the womb.
you know that even if he's made mistakes, he's a good fucking guy,
Yeah.
And so in this example, Morgan has a incredibly skewed perception of who he is based on some choices that he's made, right?
Okay.
If she told you that she thinks that he's not a good influence and that you shouldn't hang out with him, are you going to give her a pushback or just be like, that's fine?
Oh, pushback for sure.
Word.
Yeah.
So, and if she's talking shit about Colin, saying things that are patently untrue, right? But they're just opinions that she has because she's only known him for X amount of time. Are you going to stand up for him and tell her, well, that's not true. These are just I understand you feel that way, but that's not reflective of who he is. These are just things that he's made. Are you going to stand up for him or are you just going to stand by and let it?
Of course, stand up for him. I always would validate her feelings.
Absolutely.
That's super important. So I don't, get stabbed in my sleep. But also because, I would absolutely defend Colin.
That's a legitimate thing to say.
Exactly how you
I
just
would.
described it. 100%.
Right.
No problem. Yeah. I would
Okay.
stand up for him.
So, Colin, same question to you, right? You and Kayleen have been together for 10 years now. If she has known Jake for X amount of time and she decides Jake is kind of a piece of shit. He's done these things and I don't think that you really should be hanging out with him. Are you going to give her a pushback or just be like, I don't know, maybe I should, spend some time away from Jake so as to appease my wife?
In the purely hypothetical world that we're living in here, if that point was raised that I really knew that he was a good dude, I would definitely insist that you just need to know him more or something like that. We'd have talks through it. We'd talk through it and stuff like that. But there's no way.
Yeah.
That's in a perfect world. We would not be married if she did not approve of the friends that I had.
Yeah.
Because obviously there's two opposing values that two people are carrying, and you cannot have a successful relationship on something that is so... If Jake and I's relationship was so important to me that I wouldn't let it go, then that's obviously something that would be a relationship ender. I literally had a conversation with an old friend of mine yesterday afternoon about this same thing, about a guy that we used to be friends with that got a new girlfriend and then fell off the fucking face of the world.
Yeah.
And we can only assume it's because she didn't want him hanging around his old friends.
Which I've seen in friends of mine in the past.
A lot.
Yeah.
It happens a lot. And it's no good.
Yeah.
Obviously, if the other side of that relationship has some legitimate points and your friends are pieces of shit,
Yeah.
I'm wholeheartedly of the mind that you should probably distance yourself from those friends anyways, because they are a toxic drain on your life. You shouldn't have them around.
I'm 100% at a point in my life where I completely believe firmly to my core in like eliminating toxic people.
Yeah.
I have a very small circle of people. And so if I feel strongly enough to keep anyone around, it's because I genuinely know that they're a good human being and a good person. I don't want there would be no argument, that anybody could give me for those people that are close to me.
Yeah.
That like, oh, they're a piece of shit. No, you can't. There's no way. I know them well enough. So
Yeah.
So now, from a woman's perspective,
Yes,
if
I
you were
only
coming into
I only asked them. Sorry, not to interrupt, but I only asked them because they're best friends and they know each other
Oh, yeah,
so well.
absolutely.
And it's
I get it.
reflective of the example that I'm.
The best man
Yes.
grew. I get it.
Right, so that's the only reason I asked
I get
them
the vibe.
specifically. I
You sit
am
between it and
interested
I
in
feel
what
it.
you would do in that same situation, but I wanted to cover them first
It's
because
like the connection between the two is weird. It's like right there. Like, whoa.
that's how it should be.
There's a reason she's in between us. We need a buffer zone. Otherwise, it gets weird really
You guys
quick.
just start,
Escalating
like, hanging out.
real quick.
That's why I love the
They're gonna be
pre-show.
holding hands across my lap here in a hot minute. Like,
And the best thing is we got books and stuff in front, so we can just put our arms over.
can
and
hide
nobody's
it.
gonna know.
They both have their arms around you.
yeah, it's gonna happen. Like, that's gonna be that picture at our wedding, and it's not gonna be like the bride and maid of honor holding hands. It's gonna be Colin and Jake holding hands behind my back. That's what it's gonna be.
And so
Oh, that'd be such a good video. Or a picture.
we're going to take
happen.
that picture.
And so, Morgan, the same thing goes for you as well, right? If, you
Yeah.
and Jake are going to get married. If he was like, hey, what's your best friend's name?
Jess.
So if he's like, listen, I think that Jess is kind of a bitch, and I think that she...
Well, it's really
just,
funny that you
she
say
fucks
that.
around too much, and I just, I don't think that you, really should be spending time with her.
No. It's funny because Jake and I come from such different groups of people anyways.
Yeah.
And we're raised very differently. And so that was a lot of the beginning of our relationship was meshing our people together.
Yeah.
And there were a few people in his life that I was like, I'm not super sure about them. And there are a few people in my life that Jake was like, not super sure. But I think, I don't know, from a woman's perspective, just me personally, I would never tell Jake who he can and can't hang out with.
Yeah.
I think he's, he can make his own decisions, and I'm not going to be that controlling freak that's like, hey, yo.
That's why I love you.
Well, and I would imagine you would hope that he has enough awareness and self-awareness to realize when someone is not a good friend to him.
Oh, yeah,
And if they're not a
absolutely.
good person and that he really shouldn't maybe be spending time with them.
I think maybe it kind of boils down to a trust thing in your relationship.
Yeah.
Like if you don't trust your partner to have people in their lives that are respectful and all these things, and there's something else going on besides the people that they're associating with.
And do you trust that if the role was switched, that Jess would stand up for you if her boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever was talking shit
hands
about
down.
you?
It's like, dude, I've known her a little bit.
hands
Fucking
down.
A, she would.
And
Like, yes.
Colin, you trust that if the situation was that, then Jake would stand up for you and be like, well, I mean, he's not a piece of shit. He's made mistakes. He's like whatever. That he would stand up and defend you.
But see, if I've done I've done my own work too, where I have made it a point when we get the opportunity to really talk to Jess and her boyfriend and get to know them and try to be friendly with them, because it's important to me that if we're all going to be connected
Right.
going forth, that we all got to try to get along.
Oh, yeah.
And then, it just so happens I'm one of those people that generally can get along with just about anybody.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what's kind of cool about, I guess, the people in our lives is like Jess and Jason and all the people that we surround ourselves with are super easy to get along with, and everybody just flows, and we're just lucky, but we've put in the work to get there.
Exactly. It's not luck. It's completely on purpose.
Yeah.
The people that I have around me and
Yeah.
that we have in our lives, it's totally on purpose.
Yeah.
But
it's work to maintain that relationship to keep it.
people that cause bullshit and drama, I just don't.
Don't got time for it, man.
No, I'm too old, man. I'm over
Yeah.
30. That's it.
That's the cutoff point. I got no more time for any of this shit anymore, man.
Wasn't mine.
Why do you?
Yeah,
Too
exactly.
old for this shit.
Do you mind if I ask why?
I'm not there
why
yet.
you're asking that?
I was having a conversation with someone at work this week that just there was a situation struck. And I don't want to call him out, but I just want to provide examples of outside things where he was maybe explaining to me that he thought maybe his friend wouldn't defend him, when his wife was talking shit. And I'm like, well, why do you think that. You know? And he's like, well, because, you know, like he's married and like happy wife, happy life and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, and that's fine. I said, but I've been married for 3 years now. And if Jordan decided that she had a problem with Trenton, then her and I are going to have a problem. Because I've known Trenton since the 8th grade. So not even since pre-K, not since in the womb, since the 8th grade, since I was 13, you know? We're going to have a fucking problem. I don't like my son bears his name. You know, if you have a problem with him as a person, we're going to have a problem. I know he's made all kinds of mistakes, but him and I have done shady shit together. You know, so I don't like, if you have problems with him, then you have problems with me because we've done that shit together. Like, I don't, it's been this long and we're still friends. You know, I don't, fuck that. Like you said, there's fucking 5 people, you know that I went to high school with that I give a shit enough about to actually talk to. Right. Even if I haven't seen them, to text them every couple months and be like, hey, fucking thinking about you, dog. Like, I love you and I'm thinking about you. Fucking Chad, you know what I'm saying? My friend Chad that we played fantasy football with. I haven't seen him since the draft last year. Fucking love Chad. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Run into him at work. I text him like, hey, I'm thinking about you, dog. I'm like, I know that you're out here. I know you're fucking grinding. I know you're working. You're going to school. You're doing shit. I got a fucking baby. Like, but I love you and I'm thinking about you. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I think that it's important to have that, you know, and to know that, like I said, that someone would do that. I feel confident that if his girlfriend was like, you know, Don, he's fucking dick, you know, like, and I'm at the point in my life where I am not concerned with what other people think of me, but I'm aware of the way that I might be perceived by other people. Right. You know? And I'm like, even if that person would never say something or like talk shit, like I don't want them to walk away from an interaction thinking I'm an asshole. Yeah. You know? Like I know that I can be very bold and I know that I'm very opinionated and I'm not going to say something that I don't have information on. So if I'm going to say it and you're going to ask me why, I'm like, oh, well, here, because I have thought about it, you know? Yeah. And that can be a lot for some people to handle. Yeah. And so I'm even for like my family, and so Jordan's family. You know, I met him, I don't know, maybe just when like close to the end of when Dax was getting to be here, where I started to become very aware of like this might not be a good thing. You know, and I think I started thinking about it on the podcast, like watching myself on TV or on my TV and listening to myself. Just thinking like I'm a fucking dick. Like I sound like a fucking douchebag. Like, and I don't know why anyone would want to listen to me talk for 2 hours because I sound like a fucking asshole, you know? And so I started to then think about the way that other people were perceiving me in my personal life, you know? That I'm like, if this is how it seemed when you don't know me, you know, then it might even be worse when you do know me, you know? So it has caused a lot of personal stress to just be like, maybe I should just shut the fuck up sometimes because I don't want, you know, I don't know. And it's totally a personal thing. It is, but it's like very, it makes me very upset sometimes, you know, because I'm like, I just don't, for so long, I carried on with a boldness of like, this is how I should be because this is how I feel, you know, like I need just, this is it, like no fucking questions, no ifs, ands, or buts. And that's not how the world works. And I recognize that now as a grown man with a son, you know, that you can't just expect to be able to go so strong that things will bend to your will eventually. Yeah. You know, like some things will do that, but not everything will, you know? And I think relationships with people is where I focused on that, you know, that, like people can go away. They don't have to stick around and hope and then think, you know, well, you know, maybe eventually I'll start to like this guy. Yeah. Like they can just walk away because they think you're a fucking dick, you know. They don't have to be friends with you for a year to see if they warm up to you, you know. So,
and the flip side of that too, because I want to add, it's not just with like your friendship relationships that this touches. I mean, this might be kind of controversial to some people because there's the old adage that like, you know, there's nothing stronger than family and family this, family that, fucking, you know, watch Fast and Furious. It's nothing but family. Right. But when at least for me, when it comes to family members, if they're fucking a negative drain on your life, if they are bad friend stock, to put it in South Park terms, you have total and complete permission to dump your family members too, because just because they're a part of your family doesn't mean that you need to attach yourself to them and then bring yourself down to their level just because you guys are blood. That's fucking bullshit.
It's a lot harder than with friends.
It is because
there's the likely like holiday that you're going to have to run into those person.
So that's a different. It's almost like it's a different metric for sure. Yeah. But I think the core value stays the same in that, and it's It's harder to do
Yeah.
because oftentimes, even if you cut them out of your life for the most part, they're still in some way probably going to be attached to yours.
Yeah.
And so you still have to kind of deal with them. But
Right.
you don't need to deal with a lot of that stuff. And if the whole family has that same mindset, you're either going to, push them completely out of the family and totally disown them and they're on your own and your family's better off for that. Or you might instill some change and they might change some ways and they might be able to come back and into the good graces and be a good productive member of that relationship. But I think it might be a little bad, but you're sitting there, you're talking about yourself and that perspective on looking at yourself and all this. And the only story that keeps popping in my mind was you drunkenly berating a one-handed manager at Dave & Buster.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's definitely
like the
type of
greatest
stuff
story.
That someone would see that and be like, this guy might be kind of a prick. You know, like he might be kind of a piece of shit. And I feel like I've come very far in just a year we've been doing this, you know, in the way that I conduct myself in public. But I can't honestly say I wouldn't do the same thing now.
No,
with the same decision.
Oh man, we're gonna find
situation.
But I think that and the situation we're talking about with your friends all comes, like I said, with a certain amount of just self-awareness, you know, being and awareness in being able to trust, you know, in your friends and in yourself that you know that you're doing the right thing and you're acting the right way. And that can be hard.
Well, I want to touch on what you said, though, because, you know, you're talking about how you see yourself in this way, but I think it's important for you to also be authentic to who you are because, you know, regardless of what other people may see you as, you're acting in a way that you feel is representative of yourself.
Certainly.
And that's why I like Jess and all my wonderful friends. I am so close with them because they are so authentic to who they are. I think that's why you and I bonded so quick is because you're just so authentic.
Yeah.
And you don't really let other people determine how you're going to be and you just own it. And that's, you know, Jess, I love you. It's exactly who you are. And that's why her and I are so, like, Jess and I weren't even friends until after high school. And she is like, I will do anything for that girl ever. Like, I will kill someone for her. Like, if it comes down to that, we will bury that body together. But it's just, it's because she's so authentic and she accepts me for my authenticity. And I think that's an important thing to always
Did you shoot
hold
someone
true.
with a gun for her?
Probably, yeah.
The FBI has joined the chat.
Yeah, I would do a lot of things for that girl.
Yeah.
Through and through.
Oh, I love it. I think that's probably going to be I have a thing about that for once we start the real show.
Yes.
Nice kickoff for that.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I want to thank
So
everyone
stay
else
tuned.
who's watching us now because we've had some more people join us, like my mom, Cody, Carolina's brother, I'm pretty sure. Yep. So we got a couple other people. Thank you guys for joining us. If you weren't here for the beginning of the show, I feel it would behoove you to watch from the beginning when it goes back because we don't often get, not that I'm averse to it at all, but because we speak so broadly about politics, we don't often get personal, you know? I think that people like that shit. So,
Yeah.
I would implore you to watch that's right. Yeah.
Yes.
I would implore you to watch, the rest of the pre-show.
Get her done.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you guys do
not
anything, of note this week? Do anything fun? Any fucking...
Well, I work at a wine bar now, and it's the most fun in the entire world.
Do you like that job a lot?
Oh my gosh, Don, I love this job. I'm like,
I love this job.
I'm so excited to go to work. I get to, what was it? A week ago, Jake came in and I worked my first shift by myself. And a wonderful gentleman came in. I believe his name was Matt.
Hi, Jennifer.
And he like pulls out 7 to 9 bottles of wine. He's like, here, you ready to taste? I was like, yes, I am. And so he's pouring me tastings and I'm serving the other guests. And it's like, it's so fun. And you get to build these connections with people and talk about wine. And if I never go back to kids, it's because of Divine Wines in Kingston. Divine Wines is making me regret my master's degree and all those things. So, anyways.
No regrets, bro.
Should have done this 5 years ago.
Yeah, for real.
And I get to drink for half off, so
That's pretty. That's
a win-win.
Everybody wins.
It's real fun.
Colin, did you do anything fun this week?
Probably. I'll remember it once we start the real show. I'm not going to lie. I've been taking notes and stuff. I'm like, wait a minute. What am I going to talk about?
Well, I would be murdered by my wife if I not tell you our anniversary was on the 18th. I don't remember if that was Tuesday or Wednesday, which is, I'm pretty sure it was Wednesday. Either way, it's the 18th. I know what the date is. Yeah. So her mom and her stepdad came and watched the baby for a couple hours, and we went to a restaurant in downtown Paulsville, Sono Divino.
Yes, I love that place. Oh,
Fuck,
so
dude.
good.
Fuck me.
Did you drink wine?
No, I had beers. I had a fucking beer from the Czech Republic, son. It was awesome. It was delicious.
Nice
you
lager.
got good food.
It
Wine
was
restaurant.
a
He's drinking beer at a
Pilsner.
wine
It was-
restaurant.
Yes,
Take
the food
note.
was fucking delicious. The bread, dog, just the little squares. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
The whipped butter.
Dude, it was
Delish.
on some shit. I had a pizza. It was delicious with goat cheese on
Okay,
it,
we're gonna
and
go back.
like some fucking prosciutto and some like fennel sausage. Oh, dude, it was fire.
And
It
the
was
little
fucking
exterior
fire.
when you walk in the tree with the lights
yeah.
and shit.
Yeah,
they
and
got
we-
their romance game down.
And we ate upstairs, like in the
Yes.
bar area. Yep, it was really nice.
It's nice.
Yep, so we had a nice little, little
Love
dinner
it.
together, and then we drove around and we fucking smoked a little bit, and then we went back home, and we sat behind a woman who was on a date, an older woman who was on a date with an older man. Not important, but I feel like it's important to note.
Whatever.
She had a grandson whose name was Dax Elias, which is weird, right? Because fuck the world, because not until he was born did I ever know of anybody
Right.
besides fucking Dax Shepard who had the name Dax.
Right.
Now that he's here, all the goddamn
Everybody
time
has
people are like,
Dax.
oh, my fucking nephew Dax. I'm like, fuck you. But I have the leg up that they're like, oh yeah, no, he's just named after Dax Shepard. I'm like, bitch, you don't know where his name came from. So I have the leg up that no one else knows where his name came from
true.
because he's the motherfucker who told me. So
Did you talk about it on the cast before?
I probably have, but I'll
don't
fucking mention it
remember.
again because it was the shit. That I reached out to Dax Shepard on Twitter. I tweeted at him and was
Yeah.
like, hey, I love your name and I want to name my kid this, but I need to know where it came from because it's too random for me to just throw it out there. So his parents got it from a book called The Adventurers by
He
Harold
responded to
Robbins.
you?
He did, yeah.
shit.
Yep, and
That's awesome.
he said that his parents got it from a book called The Adventurers by Harold Robbins, and so I listened to the book, and the kid's name in the book is Diogenes Alejandro Zenos. And
Dope.
it is, yes.
Xenos. That's
Yes.
good.
It is about
Next
political
dog.
revolution in a South American country called Cortiguay. It's a fictional country, obviously. And it was like it took me fucking forever to listen to. It was really
a long
long and
book.
very intricate and
yeah.
very political. It was way up my alley.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
totally,
It sounds
really good.
totally my shit. It was really good. Yeah, I did enjoy it. The ending was the best part. What I really enjoyed. Like it felt like it was kind of a long build up, but the last like 10 chapters when shit was fucking punching, I was like, this is rad, bro. Like this was worth this fucking 3 months it took me to listen to this book. But it was good. I enjoyed it. So yeah, so we went out to dinner, and then I sent him a picture of Dax when he was first born, and was like, "Here he is." I told you I was going to name after you, and here he is. And he responded to me again and was like, "Look at the fucking happy little Buddha," or whatever the fuck he said. So,
I remember you texting me the screenshots
Yeah.
of the conversation. And I was like, what?
yeah,
That's
no,
so
it's,
cool.
it's fucking rad. Yeah.
Dax's name has like a Marvel origin story.
Yes, yeah, it's a whole deal. It's a whole deal, yeah. And we're gonna, when his room is all finished and everything, we're gonna just print out those screenshots.
Yes,
and
you
frame them up on
should.
the walls,
That's cool.
That's so cool.
You have to use the products that they have him and Kristen Bell.
Yes. Yeah, we got some wipes, actually. Hello Bello.
Hello, yeah.
Bello baby bread, yeah. And it's, I guess they made it for they wanted it to be available to everybody. So sell it in
cool.
Walmart and Target
Yeah.
and shit like that.
Awesome.
Maybe just in Walmart.
I think it's a Walmart exclusive
awesome.
to start.
That's what it is, yeah. And so we bought some wipes. They're 99% water, these wipes.
Wow, I'm all
so
about
they're fucking
it.
super good.
Heck yeah.
And whatever.
Compostable.
Yeah, we're still a single income, so, diapers is still in bulk, but
Yes,
that's,
yes.
for the wipes, that's a good purchase.
Yes.
And, they make good baby sunscreen that we got, because there's, fucking nothing in it.
There's-
it's all super natural and all water-based and shit and all there, whatever. So, that's It's good.
I love
The kid,
it.
he was
I love
brown when he was born, and he's paled out a lot.
He's like this pale
he's
for comparison.
Yeah, he's getting there.
This
So
pale.
him and his mom definitely have to wear sunscreen when they go outside. And I just take my shirt off, and I'm like, ha ha ha. That's what you get. Like, I know I fucking sunburned one time in the last 15 years.
I legit have a sunburn right now from last weekend. My forehead is peeling. And it was maybe 72 degrees. Not
It was not. It was really pretty mild. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, you got to be careful, man.
Tragic.
Be careful.
All the time, tragic.
Have you seen the Ginger episode of South Park?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I told you I had to.
Do you see all these freckles? Hold
I had
on.
to explain to Jordan that Dax was not a ginger, that he's a daywalker because he doesn't have pasty white skin and no freckles, but he has red hair.
He's not. I mean,
so
they
he's
could
not a
come.
ginger. He's a daywalker. Like
Daywalker.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Kyle Broflowski is a daywalker.
To be determined.
So yeah. No, I like it. So unless you have anything else you want to add to this beautiful, probably our best fucking pre-show that's ever happened.
To date, baby.
Yeah. This one, and then the one where we talked about Tommy John's and Tostino's pizza.
Oh, I love that. Oh my gosh.
That was a good one.
Pizza rolls.
Yeah.
Just a second.
Pizza roll.
I introduced Morgan to bagel bites for the first time in her life.
You never had a bagel bite?
I had never had a bagel
What the
bite, you
fuck?
guys.
And now she's
I
buying
know.
the fucking party pack.
I grew up on a motherfucking bagel
We legit
bite.
ate those for lunch yesterday.
Yo, we had a fucking...
So good.
We always had a toaster oven when I was growing up.
Yes,
we didn't
me
have a
too.
toaster.
Which is the only way to have bagel bites.
Exactly.
Toast, you can't,
You put
can't
them in the
microwave those-
toaster.
those-
No,
Oh, no.
no.
You can't. No.
You don't know what a bagel bite is? Oh, motherfuck! You
We are
motherfucker.
failing the
Go
You're
drive-
going to the store today
Go
because I
drive to
know
our
you
house.
didn't go to Wendy's last
Go
week.
drive to
bitch.
our house right now. It's closer
I
than
know
the
you didn't go
store.
to Wendy's last week, so you need
There's
to
like
go
72 of them in our fridge.
Yeah, we have a whole. Just go
So
get
you're going
a. Well,
to-
they're in little
going to Jake's house
trays.
later.
So you just pull out a little tray,
trying to
and
eat
it's
healthy
like
here, bro.
prepackaged for you.
It's
You just
a
pop it in
mini
the oven.
bagel.
It's delish.
Yeah.
Oh, girl.
Mini bagel with pizza.
You could even, you know what? We could
Yeah.
even put those pineapple bits on top, and they'd be even better.
You don't have to mess with
I'm
the
saying.
bagel.
No, a bagel bite is perfect. Don't fuck with it.
right out of the
It's-
box.
Just leave it. Yeah.
No. Yeah,
Definitely
exactly.
the pro move is to toaster oven the bagel bites. Like, that's the
For
best way to
sure.
cook a bagel bite.
Yeah,
See,
you
There you
can't
go.
put them in the
We don't have a
microwave.
toaster oven.
No,
We
they're
can't
already
do it.
pre-
Yo, you can put it in the regular
They're
oven.
like this big.
But I'm just
They're
saying
little.
the best way, the best way to have French fries is in a deep fryer, but you can still make them in your oven. You know what
Probably
I'm
seen them
saying?
in our freezer.
We have an air fryer actually, and
I'm
that's
pretty sure that's
that
what
pretty
we
legit?
I heard they're awesome.
totally worth it.
I'm gonna have to drill you about the air
Ginny's a
fryer.
huge
Nothing
fan.
but French fries. Like, even if it's for nothing but French fries, it's
Healthier,
totally
too,
worth it.
right?
Oh yeah, because
Yeah,
all
for
the
sure.
shit
What's worth
just collects in the bottom. Like any grease that's on them
Oh, yeah,
goes to the
toaster
bottom
oven,
of
for
the
sure.
fucking tray thing. It's
Legit.
telling you.
That's awesome.
Do you remember when Jake and I didn't have a kitchen and
Yes.
we had that thing on top of the?
Yeah.
That
No,
was a
I'm very
toaster oven.
familiar with
That's
what a
a toaster
toaster oven
My
is.
man is a
I'm saying, I don't think I've ever owned one.
I wasn't sure.
That's all
I
we
wasn't
had.
sure.
Chicken patties in a toaster oven.
All we had was a toaster oven. Yeah.
Chicken
I put my
patty
little
in a toaster oven.
my
You
little
could do
black
a lot.
bean burgers. It's so good.
All you need is a hot plate and a toaster oven, and
Morgan-
you could pretty much survive.
Morgan with a
and eat
toaster
well.
oven and a crock pot did some magic.
Nailed
you
it.
know?
Oh yeah.
Undefeatable.
Until the ghost broke the crock pot.
Shut
Yes, the
Jake.
ghost. It was the ghost.
You guys,
Threw that shit off the counter. I don't even know.
she
on
did
that
though. That's what happened.
So, with that, I think that we can end this pre-show here. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. This was a fantastic pre-show. Thank you guys
Great.
for being here. I'm really excited about the regular show.
So stoked.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic.
We're ready.
One more time. This was Salt of the Streets, episode 62 pre-show on our Facebook at Salt of the Streets, our personal social medias. I am at alpaca_Donovan on Instagram and at Salt of the Street on Twitter. Colin is at Big Bird Offie on both of those things. We have our Salt of the Streets YouTube, and you can find all of this on saltofthestreets.com. Also Salt of the Streets Instagram, but who the fuck doesn't know that? So
Also, buy a shirt.
also buy these fucking shirts because I'm starting to really move these bitches now. So
Tank
give me the
top
fuck
suit.
up. I'll
the
take
hat.
your fucking money over PayPal, any of that shit. Give me the dollars. I will ship that shit. Y'all fucking send it to you from my work, bitch. I'll wrap it up in this fucking paper that I make my notes out of. I will mail you the fucking shirt in this paper, dog.
Game of Thrones.
Hand delivered, maybe. We don't
I
know.
will fucking hand write your address on the outside.
Harry
of it.
Potter owl coming at you. Hedwig, here we go.
Kyle will ship it for me. I'll say, Kyle, I need you to ship this. And I'll be like, word. He'll do it. And then he'll high five me before I leave for that day.
Yep.
What we do every day.
Packaged with love.
Yeah, with my tape from work, with the paper from work, with a fucking pen from work. I'm telling you.
Small business.
Fennec style
Here we go.
out here. Thank you for joining us. Peace the fuck out. Episode on Monday.